Chuk Mung Nam Moi. Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year. Today I'm going to do a review on MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. This game is pretty good. I mean, it could be a lot more improvements on it, like multiplayer. The only thing the problem was the co-op, where you can't really play against each other right now. Hopefully there's updates in the future. I'll also be doing a little bit of gameplay, just talking about it a little bit. I'm going to go through like the builds, the planets, and the money, and pretty much equipment for the game. Shit. So this is where you walk around, you build your mechs, there's people to talk to. That shows you your mech. That's the annihilator that I've been playing with. You go to E. The max you could put is 12, but then you can also put it in the mech cold storage, which is pretty cool. The best part is pretty much financing your mechs and how much it really costs to maintain and repair. There's also, you could do a lot of paint jobs if you like the certain colors you want to put, like or you could even customize it to let's say you want to put it turquoise or green or blue even. And then it's a lot of cool stuff on it, and then you just apply, but I'm not gonna really change it. Another thing is that in the market there's mechs that you could buy. Depending on the equipment, usually they're damaged or broken, but obviously you could repair it. And then another cool thing about the MechWarrior is probably the if you're like in operations, let's say you have a clan, pretty much you have they can negotiate you and they give you really good deals, but if they really dislike you, they will raise the prices up on you, and also the missions will be a lot less beneficial. And then also there's funds you could have. That's pretty much how much all my net worth is altogether, how much I own. And then there's pilots you could hire as well. And then the battle mechs you have to maintain every 90 days. So every 90 days you have to pay a certain amount. So if you're hiring a bunch of pilots, like 20, 30, it'll cost you a certain price each 90 days, including all these mechs, depending on how heavy the mech is or whatever it was. And then also the pilot roster is pretty cool. You hire people. It's simple, easy. Just hire people, but the problem they start with a certain amount. Also you could just go to certain like maps. These are all the missions. I'll show you the whole entire map. This is pretty much I don't know what's wrong with my roller, but you could just go across the entire galaxy pretty much. Oh, and there are certain rare mechs and or hero mechs included. It's pretty cool. And then the ones with the lines like these, that's where all you make all your purchases most of the time at, like such as like hiring people. The worst thing about this game though is this loading. Loading takes forever. One game probably you have to wait between, I'm gonna say, around 3 to 5 minutes to start a mission. But back to the hiring. So that's my roster obviously, but when you go hire, there are certain stats you want to hire. So like there's missile launchers, more damage, lasers, more damage, and that's autocannons such as machine guns. And then for piloting, it's just like less damage, and then you don't want to overheat. And then there's also avoiding enemy fire, which is a lot. Most all of it is pretty much useful unless on certain mechs. As you can see, there's a rare grasshopper as well, but I don't see it. I don't know why, but most of the time it'll show up. And then you can also purchase weapons to upgrade your weapons and mechs. Pretty much, you need ammo for all your missiles and machine guns and autocannons. And then the best part is you can customize your mech any way you want. You can upgrade the armor as much as you possibly can, and then you could reduce it depending on what you want. And then you could upgrade like instead of medium laser, you could put like medium pulse laser. But then that's 2 tons instead of 1 ton. And you want to reach to 100 because that's how much the mech is supposedly to weigh. And then yeah, everything. But the only problem is that in certain areas, say if you have like a missile right here, it has to be only missile, and if it has autocannons, it has to be autocannons right here. And then there's also heat sinks where you don't overheat as well. And then you could also strip the armor, and it takes away all the armor. And then you could strip the mech completely and has nothing on it, including firepower range, and armor. Pretty much that's all of it. And then or you can max armor it, but you still have to put everything back in order. But also you could also change it back to normal, of course. And then you can also buy stuff here too as well. There are certain planets that you have to go to get certain mechs and certain places. There's also a bunch of different kind of missions, like say a raid contract or defense contract. If you go on a raid contract, you have to destroy certain areas and certain buildings to get the objective done. There's also multiple mission operation, but it gives you higher pay. But the only problem is that you have to keep going, depending on how many times it says 2, 3, or 4 times a mission. But depending on what it is, you have to keep going, or you could stop, but then the contractor will be really, really pissed off. And then there's also a demolition where you just blow up everything in that base, or assassination where you have to find the guy and kill him pretty much. Or there's a war zone where you just keep killing mechs until you stop. But hopefully you stop at a certain point where you're gonna get killed. And there's also a cool black market as well. It's I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it helps to find rare items on there. And then there's also I also wanted to bring up that you have to travel a lot. So depending on how far you want to go, this is how long it'll cost you. Also, when you're in like a war zone, like the area right here, it also costs a ton of money to repair, and also the equipment will be a lot more expensive as well. But if you want to travel, it'll say for like 3 stops, it'll cost about 100,000 C bills. And then once you do that, you travel, and then you also waste days that gone by, so you have to maintain your money as well. If you just keep spending, you'll pretty much end up losing. So you're pretty much Commander Mason and you're doing a story. If you're doing the story mode, there's a group called the Black Inferno, and you're Commander Mason, and the guy pretty much killed your dad in a assault mech, I guess you could say, or a heavy mech in the beginning. It's pretty cool. The story could be a lot better, honestly. And then it's but it is kind of slow at the same time, not as exciting, but this is more like a fun multiplayer game or a single player game. And then there's also other missions you could do as well. Like I said, there's multiple missions right here, and it tells you what how much tons of mechs you could have. So it's 400. Some of them could be like 200, maybe 360, maybe even less, like 100 or 180. But I'll show you a really quick one, gameplay. And and the best part is, so C payout is based on how much you pay. You can get as much money as you want. And then you can also have salvage shares. Salvage shares is what you pick up afterwards, like broken mechs, hard weapons, and ammo, pretty much. It's really good and useful. And or you can just sell the mech, obviously. But it's cool to have if you have salvage pieces and you want extra powerful weapons. And then the damage coverage. Damage coverage is also cool. It's like insurance. So pretty much whatever damage on your mech was or what happened in the mission, they'll pay out the difference from the coverage for the C bill. Start the mission, but I'm gonna let you know how long this loading really is. As you can see, it takes I don't know how long. It'll take about 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, I kind of exaggerate, maybe 1 to 4 minutes long. I mean, that is pretty long still. The cool thing about the while it's loading, you could set up your pilots. So whoever you want to put in, you could put in. You pay them during the mission as well. So you pay them 19,000, or you pay Conley, my guy, 20,000 per mission, or shoemakers. And then you can also give them whatever mech you want to give them. Like I could give them the Awesome, or I could give them, I have them King Crab, but I could give them a Dragon or Catapult or Annihilator or a Stalker. Or you could change pilots anytime you want as well. And you can see it is pretty slow. So right now I'm playing a defense mission, and those are my comrades, and I'm the front. Sometimes you get like allies like this right here. The yellow means they're allies, but nothing too crazy. And that's what your objective is right there. It's pretty hard to play at first, obviously. There's also like night vision, and you can also set up your chain fire as well. There's lock-on missiles, so you gotta wait a little bit and then you launch it, but you obviously don't need night vision right now. And then you can also command your team to attack the mech all at once, or you could go single-handedly with F1, F2, F3, or F2, F3, F4, or F1 to order them all. Well, and all of them will attack, or certain ones will attack as well. It's pretty cool. I mean, it is lagging right now, and obviously it's showing my percentage of how much damage it is. There's my ally that died already. But you got airplanes, you got certain mechs like this one, and the dot right there means a certain level of mech level. If they're veterans or recruiters like this, they'll say recruit or veteran as well. And then you just most of the time you have to shoot with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on what chain you put it on together, or you can shoot all at once as well. And then obviously you lose a lot of, he lost his arm, you shoot him, and you pretty much kill him like that. Well, I didn't really did much work because I didn't shoot him. And there's tanks and helicopters, and then there's drop ships, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this game is pretty fun. If I would rate this game, I 8.5 out of 10, because they took a long time developing this game. There's no online play. Hopefully in the future there's online play. It came out around December 10, 2019. It's a fun game, but they delayed it so many times. They should have had a lot more improvements. But it is a really fun game. I recommend playing it. It's hopefully there's more multiplayers, and yeah, I would give it an 8.5, only because the only problem is probably the multiplayer. And then also when you do co-op, they should also get money off the investment since you're helping the other players out. And then the loading takes forever. Tell me what you guys think. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and see what you guys like about this game. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.